Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for PIK. Well, Politically Incorrect Knitters, it's not Knitting Wars today. I'm Deplorable Knitter. My cohort, Ann Pinkava, is running a bit behind, so I figured I would get started. Say hey to y'all, um, because it's Saturday morning and y'all are hanging out with us, so I just figured I wouldn't make you wait any longer. So before I get going, we are sponsored by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. You can get a skein of her Neapolitan yarn uh, if you comment on this after the live ends because you can enter to win a skein of her yarn. Sorry, it's early and my first cup of coffee was decaf and I didn't even realize it. So I'm a little bit slow this morning myself. But the giveaway this month is the Neapolitan. Very pretty, lots of pinks and browns, and it's just I bet you this is going to be lovely knit up. And you can use the code Cardinal20 PIK to get 20% off of your order if you can't wait to see if you win. So there's that. So hey everyone in the comments, thanks for joining us. I hope you all are having a good day. Is anything interesting happening? I've got a lot to talk about, but I'm a little bit because I don't want to miss out on Anne. So I guess I'll talk about my knitting a little because she can pick up on that. I got a new pattern coming out shortly. If you follow me on Instagram, or actually I've been using it for the photos for these things a lot too. But this color work hat seems deceptively easy, but it took me a while because it is kind of straightforward and simple. So therefore it has to be pretty much perfect. You can't really fudge it. And I'm not great at not fudging stuff. So it took me a little bit longer than normal. But there's the hat, the pretty decreases. I wanted a hat that could have, you don't have to like put a pom pom or something on it because it's pretty enough on its own. So it's got that. And then I got real crazy and I am finishing up a pair of mitts to go with it. And the intent was that these were going to fit me, but come to find out they do not. So I'll have to tweak that a bit. But it's got an afterthought thumb, which is new to me. It's a technique I just learned. And I put these in the thumb. They're knit and pearls. I just figured that it would help kind of give you the little bit extra you need, to get that thumb in there and be comfy and cozy. So that's prototype. These are coming out. They're hopefully coming out, let's say first week of March because it's me and I would like to say they'll be out at the end of the month, but I need a couple people to test knit, especially the mitts. The hat has been test knit, but the mitts need a little bit extra love because as you can see, they're not quite ready as it is. So that's happening. And my phone keeps trying to go dark. I don't understand why my screen is turning off when I'm streaming. So if I go away, I'll come right back, I promise. But this week in my knitting class, we were working on our, oh, thank you guys. Thank you for the love of my hat. I've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. But like I said, it's been a lot of fiddliness, which is new to me. But we had co-op yesterday and we're off next week, and thank goodness, because I'm tired. I don't know if I've got a bug or if it's just the winter blues, but man, this past week has been long. It's been really long. But at knitting this week, we started working on the heels, and I was trying to explain it to my students, and finally I'm like, look guys, it's like magic. You don't understand how it works. You just do what they say and it will magically turn into a heel. I'm like, it seems weird. It seems awkward that you're doing all of these different things that you're not used to, but it's going to work out in the end. So if you saw my first video that I made for my class, I showed you how to do the twisted German cast on, and I showed you how to, sorry, one of my kids is in here. I'm busy, honey. You'll have to go work that out, okay? Love you. Um, but so the first video had like a quick tutorial on the twisted German cast on, and then it also had like just joining in the round and knitting the sock. So if that's something you haven't done before and you need a little help, it's on our channel. and I'm going to be recording and uploading the video on how to do the heel flap, the gusset, and the heel flap, the turn, and the gusset. So that should be coming up soon. And it looks like Anne has joined us.
Hello, I didn't know you'd start without me. Gosh.
Hey, Anne, sorry, I got stuff to do today. No, I had a lot to do, so I just figured I would show my knitting. I told them about Chicken Lady. I told them about the video tutorials I've been doing for socks. So, like,
Excellent.
I did that so we can talk other things. Got the business out of the way.
Nice.
You look fantastic this morning, though.
Well, thanks. I felt ill-prepared and therefore had to compensate.
That's fine. I accidentally brewed decaf coffee this morning, and so I am like behind the 8 ball. I was like, this coffee is just not hitting the same way as usual. Yeah, because it wasn't. So
Fair. Yeah.
But have you been knitting this week? Because I just showed off my little mitts that go with my hat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
nice.
There you go. So what about you? How's your blanket going?
Yeah, I've been working my blanket pretty much. Though, so I finished another square. It's nice. I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm going to do color coordination going forward because I am running out of all the Chicken Lady mini skeins. So I find myself like having to break into the larger skeins that I have because so far it's been hand dyed, kind of superwash texture, DK yarn. So I've been playing around with that. So that's been fun. I am on square 8 actually, and I wanted, even though I'm very bad, even though I submitted my pattern to Blocked Magazine for the puzzle box quilt. Oh no, there she goes. There's still like a couple. Yeah, there's still a couple of like fine detail things. I still have to submit like a finishing thing, but I had the pictures of the original sample quilt that I did, so I want to. I want to finish like a 9 square of the larger quilt pattern so I can have a picture of that, for Blocked Magazine. And then I'll work on it more after that, but I just want to get that initial like picture out.
Yeah. So when it's 9 blocks, how big is it going to be about? Is it going to be like a throw?
Let's see. This is about a foot across? Maybe more than a foot. I don't know. I don't have a tape measure.
It looks like it's a little bigger.
Yeah. Tape measure. I normally have one. Hang on.
Sorry, I ask the hard-hitting questions here. I can't help it.
Like, Anne, is there any math to go with that? I'm like, nah. No.
Well, you keep saying you want 9 squares, and I'm like, so is 9 squares going to make it like into a thing? Or is that just an arbitrary what you picked? 9 squares sounds like a good number.
Well, it is 11 and a half inches. No, like it won't be the finished size of the quilt. I want to make like proper bed size quilt, but just for, like this guy is actually, the blocks are larger than a foot across. But I don't know if that's yarn quality or if it's just because I've blocked this already. So, I haven't blocked these squares and they're garters, so they do have a tendency to stretch.
My screen keeps going dark and I don't understand what's happening. I'm sorry. So don't mind me fiddling. It's weird.
But anyway, so yeah, the blanket will probably stretch once I've given it a little bit of a soak. But
right.
Yeah, like I said, I want it to be larger in future. I just wanted to have, for example, in my pattern, these 2 squares, the little one up here and down there, I have them both as color A. So for a picture, I'm submitting having them both, being the same color. Not that y'all can't figure that out, but that's fun.
Right. But, when in doubt, you always reference the picture. So,
Mhm.
like if you're like, am I doing this right? It's nice to have a picture that reflects what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So,
What I'm doing. And yeah. And also I didn't put in the I'll have to put a finishing instruction about sewing and seaming the wool, even though I'm just gonna be
mhm,
like, sew the blocks together. You made blocks, sew them. um, but
yeah.
also like because it's a increase as you go pattern, like if you're like these squares are too small, and be like, well then just double all of the numbers that you increase or decrease to, and then you get actually 4
Much
times the
bigger.
size of squares.
Yeah.
So that all works out.
That's kind of cool.
But yeah, anyway, so yes, I've been
Fun.
working on that. And I don't know if you've mentioned the knitting challenge that we have.
I have not, no, but I got the other stuff done. So you can talk.
Okay.
I forgot about it. Isn't that terrible?
It's okay. No, and
This
here's the
week, it
thing
kicked my butt.
that it's okay because this is something that we had talked about for a bit before. And then like we didn't quite have a hashtag together. We didn't quite have a name together. I'm
Right.
not sure, so it actually we ended up putting it out on Instagram a day late. But sorry, you're
Yep.
frozen, so I may be frozen, so I was gonna pause
No,
a little
no,
bit.
no, you're good. You're good. I'm trying to fix my screen. It keeps going out. That's all. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
I
I
don't know
don't
what's wrong with it today. Just random. So,
I don't know.
okay.
Crazy. Anyways, so our knitting challenge, we are gonna do a knitting challenge from now. We actually started on day 2 of Lent until Easter, technically Easter Monday, which is April 1st this year, which is fortuitous. But it's called, sorry, I am all out of order. See, this is what happens when I come in late. It is
I'm
called the
sorry.
Mark. I know. Is called the Mark Schallberg Challenge, which is amazing. It's like 3 layers of memes. So if you haven't seen this go around, was it last year or the year before that Mark Wahlberg was on Good Morning America on Ash Wednesday. So, he has the ash cross on his forehead. And the chyron at the bottom said the Mark Wahlberg 40-day challenge. Lent. It's Lent. Mark Wahlberg did not
I
invent
don't.
Lent. He did not, Lent was long before Mark Wahlberg. Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg is
Yeah.
in fact
Things existed
barely
before him, believe it or not.
right. Almost like I think it's something like 200 AD is when like the first kind of idea of Lent. So it's been around a while.
Really? That's a long time.
It's a very long time. But anyways, we are so yeah, so that's why it's called the Mark Schallberg Challenge. The challenge is to knit or crochet a shawl to be made throughout Lent, and then you have it on Easter Sunday. So
Yep.
yeah, and
And, oh, sorry.
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm not gonna knit a shawl for Lent, right? Like we all know that that's never gonna happen. So what I'm gonna try to do actually is like a Lent Bible study, and if I can get my act together and figure it out, obviously I'm a couple days late, but if I get it together, I am gonna share it with you guys so that you can also enjoy it if you choose.
Mhm.
So I just thought I'd throw that out there. So maybe when you're knitting your shawl, if you choose to read the Bible also or meditate on some stuff, a little bit in conjunction. Anne just wants a pretty shawl. I figured I don't read my Bible enough, so there you go. It's
Well,
all going to work together.
well, and I was kind of laughing at this too because it's like this is a Lent knit along. I'm not Catholic or even Lutheran or anything, but always good time to think more think more about Jesus. It's the Easter season. It's good to think about that
Yeah.
coming to it. But also, I mean, like Nitty McPurley did 2 years of her Lent knit along, and that was just fantastic. I really enjoyed that last year. She didn't do one this year coming on, So I'm like, okay, well, we can everybody do make their own shawl
Mhm.
knit along. And again, I should have put it out earlier, mark your calendars. But
That's such a terrible joke. I love it so much.
I know it's dreadful, but I didn't even come up with it. It was someone else who came up with it, and I'm like stealing all of her
You need to
glory.
steal
And
that because it's funny.
it's
But yeah, Sherry's
hilarious.
on the same page. Prayer shawl, Bible study. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
late with it. I'm gonna figure something out. I am gonna share it on Instagram, on my Patreon, around. So
yeah, and
FYI.
like
When I get it together, hopefully this weekend.
no, completely. And I love the idea of the Lent knit along, or crochet along. Again, crochet completely included. You're making a
Yeah.
shawl.
We
You
don't
could
just
weave it,
yeah.
good for you. And whips are
We
included.
don't care. Just
Yeah, if you have something
make your
started
stuff.
already, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, and also, sorry, on the same thought, like Anna Knitter, she did a called daily dedication thing where she had some blankets that she wanted to finish up at the start of last year. So she would do this thing where she'd work on the blanket for however so long and then listen to the audio Bible at the same time. So yeah,
Hmm.
lots of different ways to,
Yeah, that's nice.
yeah.
Very fun.
But
Yeah, so
it's
join
like
us.
all of
It's
these nice
informal, right?
names. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying it's kind of informal. It's
Mhm.
not like one of our like the Shark Week challenge or something where it's like a big deal, but we'll scrounge something up for you guys. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's more of a prayer and a time to like be mindful, I think, more than anything. Anne wants a pretty shawl to wear to church, so
I do want
that kind of thing.
I loved having sorry, I have it flipped in a basket behind me. Having a new shawl to wear church Easter Sunday. I mean, we don't really do the whole Easter bonnet thing anymore, but having like, I made this and it's nice and it's Easter and you always want
Yeah.
to dress up a little extra on Easter. So it was just, it was a
Yeah.
nice thing. I loved it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, I'm not exactly sure what shawl I'm going to make for this challenge yet, but I mentioned this before, but this is Trail Hike by Sweet Mountain Crafts, Sweet Mountain Yarn.
Yeah.
And that I had wound this up into a ball. It's sport weight and not DK, but I was going to, throw it into my blanket anyways. I'm like, it's so pretty though. And it's so springy. It says Easter. It has, I mean, it's mostly blue and gray, but it's got these little like pink and yellows in it. And I'm like, that would be a lovely Easter shawl. So
Yep.
there you go.
Can you make a poncho for the knit along? I think that counts, don't you?
Sure. I mean,
I
if
mean, it's a
it
shawl type object.
works for me, I'm pretty casual on this whole thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
this one's got less rules than other ones we've done. This is more of a if you want to join us, let's work
yeah.
together kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
So
If you need technically a scarf and not a shawl, I'll fudge it. It'll be fine.
maybe I'll make a scarf. Although I really hate knitting those too. So like let's not even I'm not even gonna say that. Scratch that, never mind. Move on.
Scratch that, reverse it. Not knitting a
Yep.
scarf.
I mean, if the desire overtakes me, then sure, but I don't know. Although we do have break this coming week, so I've got almost 2 weeks of. I'm like, oh, I've got all 2 weeks. I don't really have that much extra time, but we don't have co-op and we don't have a couple of our activities because of the break. So maybe I'll get a little bit extra time for something.
Hey, it's always good.
We'll see.
But yeah, I'm
So
excited for this. I'm
it is
enthusiastic.
fun. I gotta ask you though, isn't it like -7 at your house?
Yeah.
Aren't you cold?
I'm kind of
No, I
sitting.
have a heater.
Well, I was running late this morning, so the first thing I did was run around, put on a pot of coffee, crank up the heater. That my thought this morning was more that I liked this top than that it was seasonally appropriate. I'm still wearing pajama pants, so I'm going full outfit change after this is
Dude,
done. I'm not ready for the day.
I often wear pajama pants. That's the nice thing about being from here up. You can pretty much do whatever you want. Sometimes I'm in a blanket. Like, it doesn't matter.
Not to be weird on the internet, but me and my Punisher PJs are gonna.
You're so like put together up top, and then you're like, but look at these Punisher pants.
I'm like they're gold lame skulls, people. We are ready. We are prepared. So,
Oh my God, you are so my favorite person. Did you know that?
aw, thanks. You're my favorite too. With your
Um,
mug.
I mean, come on, we're BFFs. It's fine.
I know. We are
my
internet
home likes your
married.
fancy
We are
pants.
coming up on 4 years of being internet married.
I know. What's the 4-year anniversary? I'll have to look
Mm.
and see. My husband and I have done that since we
Mm.
got married, that we do the like traditional, like one's paper, and I think 5 years was wood. I'll have to look and see if I can find you something fancy.
I don't know. I think we started beginning of June because we started week of the George Floyd riots. Or yeah, that was end of May,
Hmm.
beginning of June. So,
It was one of those things where we were like, we're brand new. Do we want to touch this? And we were like, absolutely. Why not? Like,
oh,
we might as well tell people what we really are right at
exactly.
the get go, right?
Oh, and that was height of
Oh no,
tensions
Anne, are
going
you
on.
gone?
Sorry. Hello.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that is like height of tensions. Cities were on fire, and we're like, well, the first episode will be about Ravelry because that is the most pertinent thing. And the next week, we're just gonna go for it. So I don't know if you can hear me at all.
I don't know if it's you or me, but something's going on. Sorry, friends.
Oh man, technical
Uh,
difficulty.
yeah, Michelle Marie wants to know how we found each other. We've told the story before, but I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. So some chick contacted me and said, "Hey, I'm doing this crafting conservative thing. I want you to do it," because I had done all of my Trump patterns and stuff. And then I said, "Cool." And she was like, "Do you know other people that do stuff like this?" And that was right after Anne had put out her Betsy Ross hat. And so
Yep.
I was like, "I know this chick. I'll contact her, see if she wants to talk to you." There were a couple other people too, but for some reason, Anne and I were like chatting, and then we were chatting some more, and then we were going to collaborate on a big project for the thing, and then that all fell apart, but we stayed together,
That's right.
and that's how it went. And in the 4 years, we've met once, and what, 2 days ago on the phone, my kids were asking Anne when she was going to come visit again. So,
That is
um,
true.
because they like her, and so you know, but maybe we'll go to South Dakota. Although you'd still have to travel, because if we go to South Dakota, we got to go see Mount Rushmore, and I know that's kind of far from you, so
It
we'll
is a
work it
bit.
out.
It'll work though.
Yeah,
Oh,
it'll be all good.
their kids were all like, "Can we stay at your house?" And I'm like, "Where?" But
Yeah, I had to
okay.
tell them that your house is too small, but yes, we can go see you sometime.
Like, okay, kids.
They don't they don't care. Dude, if you gave
I
them a
know.
sleeping bag and you were like, "Here, this is my apartment," they'd be like, "This is so cool." I don't know what's up with the internet this morning. I don't know if it's me or you.
I don't know. It's wacky.
Kendra says go to the Corn Palace. I don't know where that is. You'll have to tell
Corn
me more
Palace
about
is in
it.
Mitchell. Corn Palace is in my area. Yeah.
Hmm.
Corn
And
Palace
is that
is
educational? Is it a what is a Corn Palace?
it's like they redo the siding and decorations of different colored corn.
Oh, and do you go inside? Is there things to do,
I've never been
or do
inside
you
the
just
Corn
look at it?
Palace. I think it's just a gym, actually. It's we're super
Okay,
fancy.
that's
I
really
just
funny.
I just remember the only thing I can think of about the Corn Palace is that there's like this sort of boopsy boutique across the street, and the owner is super base when it comes to vaccines. So, it was cool.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Like, very conservative, I guess, in internet
Okay,
terms.
okay. Um, Sorry, I got distracted by this comment. I've been trying to figure out when I came across you all. Just start speaking out. Yeah,
Mm.
we were some of the first to kind of tell people what we thought, and then on occasion people are like, "Hey, we're gonna cancel you," and we're like, "I bet you can't because we don't care." So that's about how
Exactly.
this goes.
Okay. And
But hey,
I don't know. Like there's a lot of people and people that we've talked to and interviewed for our show that have been canceled. And um I don't know, because we sort of came out as the people talking about these issues that, it's I mean, you've been quote a public figure on the internet longer than I have. That I just sort of like jumped on your bandwagon sort of a thing. Um but that like there's people who have built an audience and have had friends when they're sort of, I don't know, their online presence was non-political.
mhm,
So once they were canceled, there is that falling away. There's the losing of followers. There's people who said, I really liked you before,
right.
but I don't now. The different things, people that you maybe collaborated with and now they won't speak to you anymore. That you have these different things going on. And which sucks. Just gonna say that's
It does.
that's for that. But
But bef-
because our
before the
experiences,
Ravelry thing,
yeah.
yeah, before the Ravelry thing, it was very easy to be non-political in the knitting sphere.
Mhm.
After that happened, it was a lot harder, and so a lot of people struggled. I'm okay, but
Yeah.
continue with what you were saying. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. No, that was basically it. That because I don't know, like we had with our second episode of, well, are we going to talk about the BLM thing? I guess we will. That
Yeah.
it's like, well, let's just say it because might as well at this point. There's no reason not to.
Hmm.
Someone's got to, I guess. And yeah, anyways.
Yeah, and one of the biggest comments we get from new followers is like, "I'm glad I found you. I'm glad that there are people out here saying the things that I believe." And that's what we're here for. We're here to be like the common sense friend that you maybe didn't know you needed. I don't know.
I don't know.
So here we are, filling the void.
Someone you
Shilling
may
chicken
agree
lady
with.
yarn.
Shilling chicken yarn, yeah. Someone you may agree with, someone you may disagree with. You can also disagree with us. Hate views are
Mhm.
views, but also just kind of disagreement views are views. We don't, you're cool.
Well, and the funny thing about us here, I know
Mm.
we've gone off on a tangent now, but
Yeah.
if you don't agree with us, we still don't hate you. Like, you can
Mm.
totally come on and say, I believe X, Y, and Z, and we can be like, that's cool. We don't. And that's
Yeah.
what it is. So there you
Yeah.
go. We hope to be a safe place for everybody. Come, talk, share your views. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're not going to
I
hate you unless you're mean. Like, if you're just straight up mean for no good reason, then go away. But, other than
yeah,
that, it's fine.
totally. I know. I was reading this thing online this past week and it was something to the effect of it's like, well, I don't want it's like, oh, I don't mind people talking about me, but I don't want people to lie about me. And I'm like, I get it entirely. You always want the truth to be put out about yourself. But also, some of the
Mhm.
nicest things people have ever said or implied about me have been lies. So keep on keeping on. Like I figure on the weight of things that having complimentary lies is just about the same as having compliment or like libelous lies. So I mean, like it's all gonna work out.
Yeah, it works out in the end. Um, yeah, Kendra said that it was the same time she found us that the cross stitchers were losing their minds. Every
Mhm.
craft seems to be losing their minds at some point. I'm sorry it's happening, but hey, hopefully we can avoid, be the friend, talk about normal stuff.
I'm gonna
So on that
highlight
note, though,
Texas Sheeply. I think she means knit pretty things, but also knit petty things is also where I'm at. So I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
I didn't even see that it said petty. I saw that it said pretty and I moved on.
Right.
But yeah, no, knit things, think, talk. I still knit from designers that hate me unless they're like straight up like, hey, I'm going to give a portion of your money to abortion, or there are some
Yeah.
things I just can't get behind. It's actually a
Mm.
discussion I had, and I have a friend that has a website, and I put up a post about Taylor Swift. Apparently, super controversial issue there. I was saying that I saw Taylor Swift when she was brand new, and I liked her, and I still enjoy her music.
Mhm.
And people were like losing their minds, and I'm like, but and if you dig too far into anything, you can find crap. So it depends on
Yeah.
like how we could totally boycott everything and only buy yarn from Chicken Lady and only buy our patterns, but our world is going to be small, and we're going to end up like the other side where you can't, if somebody doesn't exactly align with you, you can't see them or
Mhm.
do anything with them. Or and I don't want to be that person. If you're straight up telling me like, hey, I super think abortion is a huge issue and I am going to give part of your money to it, then I'm going to say no thanks, I'm not going to do that. But if you're
Right.
like, I prefer Biden over Trump, I'm going to be like, cool, I'm still going to knit your pattern. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
I
that
would say
there's a whole thing.
no, I agree. And there's kind of a line there. And especially since, when we talk about, different people, in the knitting world or the dyeing world and everything else. And uh, this is kind of like an interpersonal ish, quote cancellation issue that we might say, like, for example, I no longer buy from Knit Picks, but I
Hmm.
have Knit Picks in my stash. I still use it.
Hmm.
I still, and if you go out and say, hey, I bought all this Knit Picks, I'm not going to be like, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm like, well, I'm not going to buy Knit Picks. I know they have sales. So, and I know that people buy them because I would suggest to, go to someplace else like Skeins, for example, where the quality
Hmm.
is much higher and the prices aren't good. If want a
Right.
commercially produced yarn, then, but at the same time, I'm not going to say, oh no, you bought from Knit Picks and we're not friends anymore because I think that they, disrespected their customers. It's a
Hmm.
different thing in there, but I don't know. As for as for the
But
Taylor Swift,
it's the same kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah. As for Taylor Swift, yes.
I was gonna say for the Taylor Swift issue, I think it's gotten so stupid. Like there's
Hmm.
so much of it that's like Taylor Swift is a psyop. And I'm like, I don't care if weed is legal in your state. Grab your munchies and go back to your room. Okay?
You know,
Like you don't need
I've
to
been
put that
thinking,
online.
yeah. So the Taylor Swift thing though, I've been thinking about it a lot. And the website that I wrote the piece for, the people on it are, I'm probably one of the youngest people on it, and I'm 40. Okay,
Mhm.
so we're a bit of a different generation as it is. And then I think that I was thinking about it because like some of them were around for Beatlemania, and like would the Beatles have been as annoying if there was social media? Like I
Oh,
kind
the
of feel
Beatles
like it's
already
almost
are
like a
annoying.
we've
Like
had
I'm
these people that are big and part of everything, but social media has amplified it 1,000 times.
oh
So yeah,
totally,
she's
but the
probably
Beatles,
on the level of Beatles, but then the social media made it like
yeah.
she's the biggest thing ever. Like, does that make
Yeah.
sense?
No, I
I've been
agree,
thinking
but
about this a lot.
also the Beatles were and are and continue to be obnoxious. I'm with Tolkien on this one. Beatles, mistake. Not a fan. Not for it. Uh, but
So,
I don't know. There's a lot
can
of
I tell you,
things
I
like
don't like the Beatles.
uh what?
Sorry, Anne, you keep freezing, and so I keep talking over you. I
Okay,
apologize.
sorry. Say that again.
Um, but I don't like the Beatles.
Mhm.
Um, I don't care for the Beatles, but there was this show on Netflix before we got rid of Netflix, and it was called Beat Bugs, and they were these cute little bugs, and they sang Beatles songs, and then I started to like them because then my little kids would go around singing these little songs that the bugs taught them, and
Aw.
it was cute and fun. And so it's kind of one of those like now it's a happy thing, but I don't like all their
Mm.
stuff, and some of it is like pure garbage. And
Yeah.
but you know,
I mean, if it's like
my
playing in a
2-year-old
store,
singing
I'm not like,
Strawberry Fields.
yeah.
Yeah,
If it's playing in the
sorry.
store, I'm not like, this is trash, turn it off. But it's like, oh, the Beatles were great. I'm like, no, they weren't. No.
Nah, but that's okay.
Right.
It's fine. And like I love Dave Matthews Band. I know a lot of people hate Dave Matthews Band. That's fine. Like
Mhm.
that's the thing I'm talking about. And he is like a crazy lib, and I don't support him anymore, but I used to because he got to the point where he was so outspoken that I'm like, like I can't do this anymore. But also doesn't mean I'm not gonna like turn on his Sirius station sometimes in the car. So
Right.
I don't know. You know what I mean? It just is what
I,
it is.
I know, like, a lot of people, again, for political reasons, hate Sting. I love Sting. I think Sting is
Hmm.
brilliant. I like Loot Sting the best. Like, instead of, Loot Sting versus Cool Sting, I am on team Loot Sting. Throw a hurdy-gurdy in that mess, and I am so happy.
What the hell is a hurdy-gurdy?
It's like an accordion, but there's a crank on it. And the crank
Of
makes the
course there
kind of
is.
accordion noise
Is
instead
there
of
a monkey?
no, unless you want a
Are you sure?
monkey.
Because I mean, it could turn the crank. Sorry.
Well, you don't always turn it in the same direction. You flip back and forth when you're doing it.
I'll
Anyways,
have to look it up.
it's
I am the proud owner of a Sting Christmas CD due to my friendship with Anne. So there you
yeah.
go.
And there's a song on that with and about a guy who plays a hurdy-gurdy. So
I'll have to listen closer. I guess I didn't catch it the first time around, or I didn't know what he was talking about, so I just like
you're
moved
like,
on. It's hard to
hurdy-gurdy,
say.
man. What? I don't understand. Why?
Whatever.
Like, that's weird, but okay.
But yeah.
I love that. Sorry, that's like one of my favorite because I mean I sent it to you, of course, because it's one of my favorite Christmas CDs, and it has no less than 3 references to freezing to death. Which, if you really want the like South Dakota in January feeling, it like encapsulates it. It's a song of our people. um. Anyways, so all
I
that to
mean,
say, musicians, people, Taylor Swift. Oh, by the way, I
I
say
don't know. I'm sorry. It sounds painful. She's got it right there. Okay,
anyways,
yes? All
I'd
that
say
to
with the
say,
whole Taylor Swift is a psyop thing, I say Drew Barrymore is a psyop. Why is she around? Why is she selling crap at Walmart? Like, why does she have a TV show? Where'd that come from? Like, that's
I
what
don't
I
know.
say. If we're just
I didn't know
gonna
she sold
say
stuff at
things
Walmart.
without any sort of foundation, then I mean, like, at least make it more interesting, man. Taylor Swift is one of the few
Yeah.
things making our economy go right now. Yeah, they're going to pump her up. They're going to throw her out there. The camera's going to be on her because she's one of the few things that turns the wheel on this whole shebang.
Yeah. I just heard on the news this morning that her fabulous boyfriend, Travis Kelce, um, is releasing a film, and that he used the money from the Inflation Reduction Plan to film it.
Oh, nothing
So
like those government
that's the
bennies.
thing. So apparently, a lot of
He
people in
can't even
Hollywood are
spend
doing
his
it though,
own
where they're
money on this
using the money.
film. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's a thing though now. But
I don't know.
I did want to
I've
talk a little
never
bit about Trump.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I had never heard of this man
No, you've never
before
what?
he Hello.
Hmm.
I had
Nobody
never heard
has.
of this.
And that's part of why. I'm sorry.
Hello.
Hello?
All right. Sorry. What were you
Are you
saying?
there? Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
This
No?
internet connection sucks,
Judy,
I gotta say, and also
I
it
know.
sucks after it bumped up my rates, so I'm paying more for worse internet now, and, yeah, I need
Call
to
them and complain.
fix it or something.
That's what we do. Once in a while it happens like that, and then we call and complain, and all of a sudden it's magically better again. Go figure. They just do it
Crazy.
on purpose.
Mhm.
Um, but can we talk about Letitia James and what a piece of trash she is? Just,
Sure,
I
please
mean,
go ahead.
for anybody watching who doesn't know, Letitia James is the Attorney General in New York City who ran exclusively on going after Trump. And so now this week he got his thing where he's got to pay $350 million and um, he can't do business in New York for several years. And it's just trash. The whole thing is just trash. Number one,
Right,
he's going to appeal it.
yeah,
Number two, the banks were begging him for his money. They were
mhm.
begging him to be. So if he defrauded them, they begged him to do it. Okay.
Yeah, they wanted
And
his
number,
business, they wanted to continue, but also, okay, all of it, they are accusing him of crimes that no one else has been brought to court for after doing business, after paying back bank loans, after all of these things. And then the entire process is, so how much money do you have? Yeah, pay me all that. Like there's no
yeah. But
level.
but then this is the part that gets me. Okay.
Mm,
So okay, woohoo, they got Trump. Okay. Now
right.
they said he can't do business in New York. What makes them think he's going to want to continue to do business in New York?
Yeah.
Like in the long run, they're just going to hurt this state, which already sucks and already needs help.
Mhm.
Like I know of in my area, there were several millionaires, people that have their names on hospitals and stuff, who the taxes and shit got too high. And now they live in Florida more than 6 months of the year so that they don't have to be a New York resident. That's what they're
Right.
doing to our people. So one guy who was still proud to be a New Yorker, you've ruined any chance of him wanting to continue to do business in the state. And that just fucked us over, not
Mhm.
him. So thanks.
Oh, yeah, the tax code in New
Sorry.
York is stupid. No, and, that's something that Rush Limbaugh used to talk about, and it's been 3 years since his death, by the way. Yeah,
That's sad.
Stein, I wanted to talk about him. He has his own actually very important case going on in the middle of this.
Mm-hmm.
But that, Rush used to have a studio in New York City, and then, he moved down to Florida. So he would have to chart exactly how many days a year he worked in New York
Mm-hmm.
versus anywhere else. And he had to prove that he was there, or he had to prove that he was not in New York, because New York is such a beautiful and wonderful place that people sneak in to do business on the sly. And if you do, the rarefied air you have to pay extra for, so you're taxed differently.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to address this real quick. What's wrong with New York voters? It's the city. It's the liberals in the city, and that's the problem. Because if you come to the area where I live and a lot of our viewers, I know we have a lot of upstate New York viewers. And when I say upstate, I'm not talking about like that, you drive half hour out of the city. I'm talking about the people like in the Catskills and in the Finger Lakes region and that. Those people want nothing to do with the city. There have been petitions going around 4 years that we want to be a new state, but we can't because if New York City loses upstate New York, they can no longer subsidize the city. So that's the whole thing in a nutshell. We pay the taxes so that the city can continue to be subsidized, so that those assholes can keep the jerks in charge, so that we can pay bigger taxes to keep them going. It's a
Right.
horrible, horrible circle. So I love New York, by the way, and that's part of why it makes me mad because it is a beautiful state. Where I live is gorgeous. I can drive a couple of hours and hit like almost all of the Finger Lakes. It's beautiful. I brought Anne here. We have a freaking gorge. It's the Grand Canyon of the East. It's the Letchworth Gorge. It's beautiful. It's a river running through it. It's forest. We have a great, great place, but they've ruined it for everybody. So
Mhm.
BS says that Minnesota is the same way. Yeah, the Minneapolis and St. Paul ruins everything for them. It's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and all those property taxes are paid by the red people because you got the people in the cities who live in apartments who don't pay for that shit, who are surprised that they have to do it.
Yeah. How does it feel to be a part of the whole surf cast, paying, doing the
Yeah.
heavy grunt labor for the idiots?
Yeah. Someone said the danger of democracy is people realizing they can vote themselves other people's money. Yep. Illegals, yeah. It's just gotten nutty. So anyway, that was all I wanted to say about Trump. So what did you want to tell us about Stein?
Oh, well, there's a lot of similarities in this, not similarities. So the Stein Michael Mann case, which has been going on for, I'll say over 12 years. So the basis of this case is that Michael Mann is the person who invented the hockey stick graph. That's the one with global warming with, temperatures are all normal and now they're spiking. Okay, that's why it's hockey stick. Anyways, the hockey stick graph has proven to be false. The data is not good. Not only that, Michael Mann, throughout this case, Stein said that the hockey stick graph is false. He made fun of it in like a little blog post on his website. And he also says that Michael Mann is not a Nobel Prize winner, which he is not. But was telling people he was a Nobel Prize winner for the climate change stuff, and all of his data is false. Okay, so this trial has gone on.
Okay.
When you say something verifiably false, you're allowed to be called out for this. So, Michael Mann had sued Stein for defamation. This has been going through courtroom, through judge to judge, spending just thousands and thousands of dollars, probably into the millions of dollars for all of this. It finally goes to trial after Stein's heart attacks. Like, he's in a wheelchair now. He is, not very strong, but he's still doing this. And throughout the trial, like when Michael Mann's lawyer made his case, he did not actually prove, he didn't, not only did he not prove defamation, he barely presented defamation. He did not put forward the correct evidence into the trial. He basically biffed the whole thing. Stein's lawyer is like, why are we here? Why don't we just close it up here? Because that's not a proper presentation of the case. And it still went forward anyways. And after a couple weeks in court, the jury said, yeah, well, he didn't really prove defamation, but Stein still has to pay $1 million in damages. And there was another guy who was also involved in this case that Mann was also suing. He only has 1,000. You have to pay 1,000, but Stein is the named character, so he has to pay $1 million. Even though we don't really think that there was any damages caused, and that's how it works in a DC court. They're going to appeal it to the Supreme Court, of course,
Obviously.
because part of this is that, okay, Michael Mann is a horrible person, not just a horrible person, but a dreadful academic. Through this entire, and he works for Penn State. So, Penn State, the bastion of, intellectual sincerity, and also child abuse, and also very recently their like electrical engineering professor was caught doing inappropriate things in a public park. So, Penn State is really rocking it over there. But we have because Michael Mann has a PhD, that was part of Michael Mann's defense, that of course he's right about climate change. He has a PhD. Stein isn't right about climate change because he didn't go to this prestigious college. He didn't go to any college. But I think the man's education kind of shows out better than that. But in that also, Michael, we have all of these emails that came out in Discovery that Michael Mann was telling people to delete emails. He was telling them to hide evidence. He was telling them to, hey, anything that I said that I totally made this up, if you could delete that. He was insulting female colleagues, female scientists, their research that was against his research, and he was being nasty, saying that they just slept their way to the top. Like, he is this awful, detestable guy. And not only that, he admitted in the trial that, I'm not paying for any of this. So who is? Stein's going bankrupt over this trial. I mean, I would encourage you to check out his website and like buy a couple of his books if you're feeling it. His book of obituaries is particularly good. Like, he is a fantastic writer. And the obituaries are hilarious too. Like, you've not heard the stuff that he can just dig up about people's past. It's so funny. But I don't know. It's a stupid case, and not only that, but he's doing this case, which is the essential part of this is that does the First Amendment cover fighting the orthodoxy on something like climate change? And they're saying no, it's still defamation, even though even though he had no financial hit. We are going to make you pay $1 million because you made fun of a guy who had patently false information and also lied about being a Nobel Prize winner. That the state is protecting this sort of orthodoxy on climate change, which also is not a scientific provable thing, that is more important than free speech or the truth or talking about this in public or being a journalist who is making a joke about a guy who should be made fun of because he's stupid. We have this thing going on. Right now, another case that Stein has coming up later this year, and again, the man's pretty frail. Like, he's still out there, and the last Clubland Q&A he had on his website, he was kind of like, well, we're still going to go at it. And is about Ofcom in England and Ofcom censoring people in England. Okay, this has gone down. This is everybody in England.
Making fun of someone is not defamation.
Yes, well,
thank goodness. And you have to use the word allegedly.
Allegedly.
That also helps.
Yeah, alleged moron, Michael Mann. But we have that it's making fun and also pointing out things like, hey, this is crap. Is also apparently not covered. But anyways, we have the Ofcom, and Ofcom is anything that it's the regulator of anything that can be put into media. So if you're on a TV and you're saying something like questioning vaccine efficiency, that was enough to get Stein booted off GB News, and GB News says, oh, we're not going to fight with Ofcom. And neither did the Free Speech Union, though Toby Young is doing this little like song and dance up to, oh, well, poor Mark Stein dealing with the American justice system. Yeah, well, Toby Young is not fighting the British justice system when it comes to free speech, even though it says Free Speech Union on the logo. So he's
That's ridiculous.
But anyways, Ofcom is anything. So Mark Stein and Naomi Wolf were not allowed to question vaccine orthodoxy on TV. That's why Ofcom shut them down. And there was a kerfuffle with GB News, who did not stand with them in this issue. So that is what Stein's going to in court. Okay, and Ofcom, they now have internet censorship. So you're not allowed to talk about things online. So not only that, and it's gone down to you're not allowed to say things online. They're Ofcom is collaborating now with online video game companies. So if you say something unpermissible in a video game voice chat, they'll also flag you.
Unpermissible.
Yeah.
Nonsense. Unpermissible. Because now we're in the police state, so it is what it is. Yeah, that's fantastic. Get ready. Get ready, America. It's coming to see us.
Oh, no, 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 no,
Just
no,
saying.
no, no, no. The whole get ready thing. It's
Oh,
like,
no?
no, I'm very like, I'm just gonna keep saying it because in my perspective, I'm dead anyways. If there's a list, I'm on it. If there, the only way to stop this is to push back about this. So I'm not going to do the 3 to 6 months of, I don't know, maybe I will wear a mask in public. I'm not going to play that
No.
with the free speech thing. It's like, hi, I'm here, I'm saying it. It's kind of
Right.
this past week with Biden, that Biden was deemed not to have enough memory to stand trial
Yep.
over a classified documents thing. It's like, well, he doesn't know when he was vice president or when his son died or anything. So he's therefore not going to know anything about classified documents. So let's just kind of take this case and shove it to the side. And then Biden came out and he's like, I am cognitively fit. I will then he
But
then he
if he's
confused
cognitively fit, then he should
with the
be.
president of Mexico and said that Mexico should open its borders. Like,
Yeah, but if he's fit, if he's saying he's fit and he's fit, then he needs to be tried. And if he's not fit, should he be president? Probably not. But this is all heading up to the election, and they're probably going to pull some bullshit. So
it is.
What are you going
I
to
mean,
do?
Joe Biden himself is like selling infrastructure points of America to the Chinese. Like, that's cool. That's fine. That's,
Right.
Whatever. But okay, even with that, sorry. So it's like something that really annoys me is when people are like, oh, it's all over. We're all dead. It's like, okay, it's the line from South Pacific, some people are saying it's the end of the world, but I don't think so. And then the French guy's like, the end of some worlds, maybe. This may be the end of some worlds, but also me and you and probably the kid next door will still be sitting here. So if you could think of whatever you're going to do to reverse things better, you should be doing that instead of saying it's over, because there's no clever points for saying it's over. We're not going to say, wow, buddy, you really knew the thing.
You were right.
And yeah. And people who like to say they were right will invent ways to say they are right anyways. It's irrelevant. Get to doing what you ought to be doing to fix it, because you can fix it. I mean, for example, we have countries in this world that were communist and now are not. Romania being one of them, Czechoslovakia. We have these different things. So if you don't want to live in a horrible, oppressive state, then why don't you start right now for the pushing towards the less oppressive judicial reform, perhaps, because we don't have a just judicial system. Let's get this going in the good direction instead of complaining about it's over and then saying it's impossible, we're done, we're over. Yeah, well, that's nice for you if you want to roll over and die. But again, I'm probably still going to be here in some capacity. And if not me, someone else is. And if their day sucks, maybe I should have helped them now. So we're not, think of it long term.
Yep. That's one thing that people say to us all the time. Oh, I'm so glad you're speaking out. Awesome. That's why we're here. But also, everybody needs to start doing that, because it can't just be one person. It's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Or two in our case, but still.
Or two. Hey.
So
at least we're in it together.
I know. I mean, I am happy I have a friend in this, because there are days where Anne's like, we have to podcast, and I'll be like, but can I just sleep in instead? And so it's lucky that we worked out.
I don't know. And I know it is good. I'm glad I have a buddy. I don't think I could have done this alone. Not for 4 years, certainly.
No, it's a lot.
No, but also with the, I don't know, with, I was thinking of this with the Biden thing about Biden being such a train wreck and this and that, and America is over and that sort of thing to kind of, and just like, you know what? I'm just going to become more American. Like you don't fix things if you don't love things. There's also part of the America is over and
Yep.
America was never good and American was never that. I'm like, actually, no, America is awesome. And even when it's not awesome,
Yep.
I love it. Okay. Let's not,
Yep.
it's like, no, you can't, you cannot help something for its good if you don't love it. If it's kind of like, you know, if you're in a relationship with somebody and even though you want, you know, perhaps you're like, oh, well, there's, you know, you're having issues. Like even if you're, you know, you're having issues, I want to help you with these issues. Like if they're depressed or something, let's, you know, get you out of that. You cannot start from a I love you, but I only love you if I change you. That's a
Yeah,
horrible
no.
place to be in, even if somebody genuinely has problems. You know, you have to love them for their sake, even if they have these issues, and be like, "Well, I love America, but only my idea of America." Yeah, you
Yeah.
suck. Go find
Yeah.
someone else.
Yep.
Go find somebody you actually love. And even if that's like in a country sense. It's like if you don't just like love the base core America, even with her issues, then why are you here? Why bother?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
well,
better
I
to
only
know about
love
all the people
America and
coming.
my super like libertarian, high strung principles the way that I want to rebend her. I'm like, well, that's not America. You can push for that if you want. You can do policy wise, but it's like, but do you love her? You know, like it's a love song here.
Yeah.
But,
Nope, I'm with you. But
anyways, sorry.
all right. On that note,
Yeah. Adam says I'm going to be more British if that's possible. That's right, Adam. That's the way you fix it.
yes, exactly. So check out Chicken Lady Fiber Arts.
That's right.
Comment after we're done to win the skein, possibly. To be entered
She
to win the
has
skein.
beautiful yarns, like most of these. They're lovely.
And the new issue of Black Magazine should be coming out soon because I know the deadline was a couple of days ago. So make sure you keep your eyes open for that. Use the code Chickadee20 PIK for 20% off your order if you don't want to wait and test your luck.
Yes, and she
Be
has
American
new
and
yarns
outspoken.
coming out. Yeah. And Chicken Lady has new yarns coming out all the time, including her chickadee colorway for this month. So go ahead and sign up for her newsletter. Yep. She sometimes does like little extra discount codes if you sign up for her newsletter, like free shipping that stacks on our code. So go there, sign up.
Yep. And who doesn't love free shipping? I mean, sometimes that's the point I get to in shopping. And then I'm like, ooh, shipping's that much? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I'll have $100 in my carpet. I'll be like, oh, another $10 of shipping? So I think we all do it sometimes. But yeah, so check out Chicken Lady. Check out Anne online. Check out her new pattern. I got a pattern in blocked. I got this pattern coming out soon. I just got to figure out this thumb thing, which hopefully will happen today. So
yep. And yes,
thanks,
and
guys.
our previous episodes, we have Knitting Wars, we have interview with Athena. This next week, we have another cool interview coming out. I'm very excited.
Cool. Me too. So thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right, see you then.
All right, bye.
Bye.